We are back, and in support of National Pet Day,
Yay,
we
National
have
Pet
got
Day.
some exciting news that the Kokomo Perspective would like to share with the family because, again, Humane Society, near and dear to my heart. So we are going to pick a pet at random, somebody that is housed in the Humane Society right now, and then when a family comes in and falls in love with that particular pet, again, chosen at random, we will pay for their adoption fees.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate that. That's a really great thing. We're not going to tell you who it is, though.
Right.
Because, you know, then we get people go, I want the free cat or the free dog. So we just want to surprise you if you choose this animal, and surprise, you'll get the animal's adoption for free.
Absolutely. And honestly,
thanks to the Perspective. Yes.
And honestly, you've had that done before, correct?
Yes, we often have people sponsor adoptions, especially for special occasions. At one point, Hill Science Diet sponsored 10 adoptions. At another point, we've had local people sponsor adoptions for our Christmas, our holiday open house.
Sure.
So people would come in, the first 10 adoptions were free. Every now and then, for a memorial donation for someone, someone will sponsor the adoption of an animal. In fact, not too long ago, someone said, I want to sponsor the adoption of a big black dog. Just so happened somebody wanted a big black dog that day, so that was a free adoption. So that was great.
And the cool thing is you get to make that forever home even more special because, you know, you reach out and you really bring those pets to their forever homes.
Absolutely.
So, again, we're not going to tell you which one, but in honor of National Pet Day, we are going to choose one today sometime at random. And then when that family falls in love with their forever pet, they will find that great surprise.
Right, and so, and this, you know, this is something, you know, if you're thinking about getting a pet today, you know, maybe tomorrow, come on in and take a look. It seems like days like this, rainy days, we get lots of people at the shelter anyway. So, so come on in and take a look. We're open from noon to 5, Monday through Saturday. So come in and take a look and see.
713 North Elizabeth Street.
Yes.
There are so many pets, and again, it's springtime, so obviously.
Oh, and we're at a point now where we're getting too many cats, and so you know, we really want people to come in. A lot of people don't realize that we have cats available for adoption. We have great cats available for adoption. Many of them are already spayed or neutered. Some of them are adults. We have some kind of older kittens right now. We haven't gotten the teeny tinies in yet. So we have lots of wonderful cats available for adoption. I know I'm not supposed to be a favorite person, but I am a cat person, and so I like to see them going out the door, and unfortunately, not as many people want to adopt a cat as they want to adopt a dog. So if you are thinking of a cat, come on in. Or if you're thinking of a dog, we have lots of great dogs too. So
they truly are amazing. And again, we've gotten 2 dogs from the shelter before, and honestly, they make great companions. My sister as well. You know, she's a huge Humane Society supporter. So you guys, there's so many people out there like us that you just can't believe what quality you can get.
Oh, absolutely.
And how much love that you can have for those pets instantly.
Did you know that about 25% of our animals are purebreds?
Wow. No, I did not know that.
A quarter of them are purebred dogs or cats. More purebred dogs than cats normally, but yes. Now, they're not necessarily puppies. Occasionally we'll get some purebred puppies, but they are older adult dogs or young adult dogs. And what happens is, and I think we're going to talk about this a little bit later on, that people do not do their homework. And so they think, yeah, I'd really like that Weimaraner. Well, they don't realize that Weimaraners are very high-energy dogs. They're large. They take a lot of exercise and a lot of TLC, and then they go, well, this is no good. This dog is terrible. You know, so bring the dog. The dog's great. It just needs some maturity. It needs some work and some behavior work, and so we do our best to find a great home for them or a rescue. Absolutely,
or even foster for a little bit to make sure that they get that attention that they need.
And a lot of times the foster will train as well as give them that personal one-on-one. So it's a great idea. We love fosters, and we are always appealing for people to come and fill out a foster adoption or foster application and just be a temporary bridge gap between.
Because a lot of them need special attention, or they need that extra love to make sure that they get their temperament shown to the potential family.
Right,
so
exactly.
I opened up the floor to questions.
So I heard.
And they sent them in. And actually, because it is National Pet Day, I kind of chose different pets at random. So we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to ask you some questions, and I hope that on the screen that they can see some of the cute little faces. So as you're answering the questions, they might like, oh. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to get to your questions, and we'll be right back. We are back, and I've got the questions.
All right.
Are you ready?
Da, 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 da.
The first one is, what happens if my animal gets sick after an adoption?
After an adoption, what we do is we give you 30 free days of pet health insurance. I think there's a $75 deductible, so you would go in and you need to pay the first $75. We require, as part of our contract, that you take your animal to the vet within 10 days so that that animal is going to be have vet care. Vet care is very important. And I think a lot of our adopters may not understand that, and so we want to make sure that they understand that this is really important. So take your animal to the vet. There is a possibility that they've been exposed to something at the shelter or before they got to the shelter. So we don't know. We're not vets on staff. We do vaccinate everybody who comes in who needs a vaccine, that we don't know their history or who we've been told by their owners that they haven't had one. But still, there may be something that goes wrong. So please take your animal to the vet.
And depending on the animal, you guys give advice on which vet to choose, maybe which specialty to go to.
Right, and also
guide them in the direction.
We work with all the vets in the county, so a lot of times it's and out of the county as well. A lot of times it's who's closest to you or who you feel most comfortable with. So it's we give the choice to you, but we also offer a list of names.
Sure.
So.
What happens if my pet's temperament changes?
That may happen because they're not going to act the same as they do in the shelter. And we do offer also references for various behavior people in town, and we would like you to work with a behaviorist. And again, a lot of people think that when they adopt an animal from us, that's the last penny they're going to spend on that animal.
Sure.
And you need to go into it with that kind of mindset that they are going to need behavior work, maybe, that they are definitely going to need veterinary care, and they're going to need, we talked last week about the different kinds of pet food. They're going to need good quality pet food. And so, go into it that this is a commitment and this may be a project.
And a member of your family. You go to the doctor. You go to the groomer.
You go to school.
All of that stuff.
And pets, it's really interesting. People, meet a dog for the very first time. They'll go, sit. Well, a dog doesn't understand English, and so they may know sit. They may not know sit. And so these are things that need to be worked with the dog. They don't come fully formed into this universe, and so they do need to be working with a behavior person. We'll give some advice about the ways to treat them and the ways to maybe show them how to do certain things, but they have to be taught the rules because they won't know how to behave otherwise. So
and feeling secure actually helps that as well.
Yes.
Being around your family and learning even your own habits in your own home.
And we've noticed that a lot of times they're just going to behave differently in the shelter. It's a whole different environment. You go into a home, it's like, whoa.
This is new.
Look at that sofa.
Yeah.
So, we want to make sure that people understand that there are people who are willing to help them, and also to call us, and we can also refer you to people, or we can people are welcome to bring their animals back to us. That actually, we hate to see them come back because we want it to be a forever home, but when they come back, we're going to get more information from you about how that animal behaved in your home, what we can do maybe to make it a better adoption a second time around, and sometimes they need to go to 2 or 3 different homes before someone says, yeah, this is the dog that we want and we love. So
it is a process.
It is a process. It is not something that you need to be embarrassed about it to bring an animal back to the shelter because, we require that you bring the animal back and not give it to Cousin Fred. So we want that to happen so that we can get more information about that animal and what they, how they behave.
What happens if I have been denied by the adoption process?
There are different reasons that we would deny an adoption. One is that if you have a bunch of too many animals. Yeah, there is a requirement by law as to how many you can have. 4 dogs.
Especially if you live in city limits.
Right. Well, and in the county as well. County's, I think, a little stricter even.
Oh, wow.
4 dogs, 4 cats, 4 dogs or 4 cats, or 2 and 2. Some kind of mixture of 4. So that's one. Another one is that if you are in our files as a cruelty case, we will not adopt you. I'm sorry, that's not going to happen. Another thing is that if you've got a couple of little kids and we have a large adult dog that happens to like to knock people down, or happens to just knock them down by moving to the side or something like that, we're going to not probably allow you to have that dog, but we're going to direct you to somebody else. So, and just because you're denied at that time doesn't mean that you're denied forever. So do check back with us, and a lot of times we'll tell you that, come back when you've moved to a new place. And we also check with landlords. So if the landlord says no, it's a no. We want landlords to be comfortable allowing their tenants to adopt from us, so we do check with them. We have to make that phone call, sorry folks. And
they do make those phone calls.
Yes, we do. Or we want to see a copy of the lease or something, some kind of proof of that. So there are lots of different reasons, and each different reason has a different purpose as far as making sure the animals are well taken care of. And a lot of times too, if you're just not in a space that you really can have an animal, either a space in your life where, you know, yeah, I'm going to get a job in Illinois, and I'm not sure if I'm going to take it, and so, you know, well, maybe when things are a little calmer, come back, and you know what you're doing. So
and you really do your homework.
Yes, yes, we do.
It's not one of those deals where you just walk in and you sign that paper and you can walk out.
Yeah.
Is there any way to test an animal's history?
That's a really interesting question. When someone brings their personal animal to us, we have them fill out a profile to give us as much information as we can so that we can place that animal in a better situation. If we get a stray animal and we've got no idea about its history, and maybe we can infer a few things about the way it acts, if it say it defecates and urinates in a different part of its cage, or the same part all the time and stays away from that area, we're going to assume that animal is probably house trained.
Okay.
But it's really difficult, you know. We know maybe that they've been through something. Just because an animal's a little bit head shy doesn't mean they've been abused. We always have this dog's been abused. Well, yeah, not necessarily. It just, again, it depends on how they've been socialized. It depends on how they were raised. If they were raised by people, you know, sometimes they've been out there, you know, kind of taking care of themselves or letting mom take care of them. So it's hard to determine an animal's history unless we have an owner who can give us that information.
How many volunteers does it take for you to be successful?
I was joking, you know, how many volunteers does it take to screw in a light bulb? We can take as many volunteers as want to come to us because our dogs need to be walked every day. Every dog, every day. That's my mantra, and my staff is getting kind of tired of hearing me say that, but every dog, every day needs to be walked. Every cat needs to have some kind of affection given to them. So that's also very important. We also have things, we're starting, we have a food pantry.
Oh, wow.
But we're starting to be a little more restrictive about the food pantry. That's only going to be certain days, and when we're going to put the food in bags, so we need volunteers to come and bag the food so that we're not just, you know, giving somebody a 20-pound bag and somebody a 5-pound bag, that everybody's going to get the same amount of food. And that way it'll go further, and it will, you know, be better for the public, because we have people calling and we say, no, I don't have any food, you know. So now we say, yes, we do. It'll be first and third Tuesday of every month, 10 to 12 in the morning. You know, come, make sure that you have some kind of public assistance card, food stamps, whatever, and get your pet food. But we need volunteers to fill those bags. So there's always something that needs to be done. And right now we have 52 active volunteers. We also have the Petco site at Petco. We do the cleaning for that. Our volunteers do. So there's always something. Even if you don't want to come into the shelter, we'll find something for you to do.
And the other thing, too, about bringing in your public assistance card or paperwork, there's no reason to be ashamed of that. There's
Absolutely not.
You wouldn't want your children going hungry, and the same is true for your pets. This is just another way to make sure you get what you need for your pet until you can get back on your feet.
Exactly, exactly. And we do have a limit as to how much, you know, people can get. I think they can get 3 times in 3 months. And then it's time to, you know, to see if there isn't some other option for you. We would rather keep pets in homes rather than have people say, well, if you can't feed your pet, you need to bring it to us. We want to help you as much as we can, or offer you other options as well. So that's something. But, you know, again, volunteers are needed to help us with that. Foster care. We really need fosters, especially now as we're getting mamas coming in with litters of kittens. We want to put them in a home until they're old enough to be adopted. We want somebody to be playing with them and socializing them, and they're much more adoptable that way. So fill out a foster adoption plan or adoption application. Come on in, talk to Karen Wolf. She's our foster person, and she really keeps track of foster people, checks with them, makes sure that the animals are doing okay. I've known shelters where, here's your foster animal, and you never hear from them again, and all of a sudden you've got 5 cats. So that's not the way we work. We want the animals back. So you know, please, yes, as many volunteers as we can.
And our last question of the day, how many pets per week usually find homes?
I'm going to say about 25.
Oh, wow. That's a great number.
It varies every month because, you know, again, Christmas time we get lots of adoptions. Summertime maybe not so many because people are out playing softball and being out doing what they want to do.
Outdoor activities.
Yeah, outdoor activities. So, but we average about 25 a week. I'm, you know, about 100 adoptions. Plus then we'll send maybe another 30 or 40 to rescue as well.
Nice.
So yeah.
That's a very cool number.
Yeah, I'm really happy with that number. So we just did our first quarter statistics, and we have our live release rate of animals is 76%. We'd like it to be higher, but it's much higher than it was last year at this time. Last year, I think it was about 50%. So
wow,
so
that's a huge jump.
Yes, we are working very hard. It is really important to us that these animals end up with the outcome that is best for them.
Absolutely. And again, since it is National Pet Day,
Yay!
we are going to pick a pet at random, and hopefully that brings joy to a family someplace in Howard County to bring home that forever home pet, because honestly, I hope you saw on the screen, they are so cute. I just picked some at random, and it was hard just to pick those little faces, because I don't think I could work there. They'd be like, let's go home, everybody!
Oh, and when they come in, it's like, oh, hi, honey.
So again, we're totally picking at random. You're going to have to go and check it out. And even if you're not thinking, well, adoption's not for me, get in there, get to know them, and maybe find out that you really are ready for that forever home, or you could be part of the fostering process.
Absolutely. Or you could just come and volunteer, once a week. That would be great. So
452-6224 for any questions you may have. And I'm not just talking fostering. I'm not just talking adoption. I'm not talking, if you need to know about food, if you need to have a question about your pet's health, anything, they are a resource, just like the library, for your pets.
And if we can't answer the question, we will tell you who can.
Absolutely.
So.
It is National Pet Day!
Yay! National Pet Day!
Get to the Humane Society. We'll be right back.